let's just watch the trailer, and then we'll have a nice, friendly discussion about what we think, which I think is going to be very interesting. On go. 3, 2, 1, go. That shot of Theed is just so fucking cool.
Well, I like the transition between the eras.
You gotta listen to the music.
I know, the music gives me chills upon chills, man.
Which is funny because your first view of Force Awakens, I don't think Kylo's theme stands out that much, but definitely effective there.
And you know what? I think the N1 fighter might be my favorite fighter in all of Star Wars. I don't know why.
Not clear.
Not the best place to land, though.
No.
Alright, so we got Kashyyyk, we got Starkiller Base, that's Yavin, Tatooine.
Yeah, it looks like Yavin.
And then
That might be the Heroes Villains mode. That looks like Maz Kanat or Maz Kanata's.
Yeah, it is. And then I'm wondering if this isn't Episode 8 teaser footage?
Yeah, because those are
the First Order fighters and the
yeah.
Resistance.
They are unusual.
Rogue One. Like,
Hold on, Hazy, you're not coming through. Alright. So that was pretty fucking dope.
Yeah, it looks really damn good.
yeah, that one of the last shots there, was that like the shield gate from Rogue One?
No, so alright, so let's go to a minute 29 or a
1:30.
minute 30, yeah. That's it looks like some sort of orbital dock. Like there's a Star Destroyer just like parked there.
Yeah, and that the ship flying up to it is the one that was shown off in the story trailer too. So
And it's, when you look at it for more than like a second, you can tell it's not like facing the planet at all.
Yeah. It is very similar. What I like that I just noticed, it actually looks like there's like 3, I guess, I don't know what you would call them, things that like stick
docks.
out. Yeah, the docks. If you look where the dock meets like the ring, it's like a Star Destroyer bridge. You can see it most on the one facing complete, like the same direction as the camera. Like right at the top of the ring.
Yeah, I see what you're talking about. Yeah, that's probably part of like the story mode.
I like the post-death Skype call from Palpatine. I'm assuming it's post-death. It could be before.
Yeah, I'm wondering, like, when I saw that, first I was like, oh, that's weird. And then it reminded me for some reason of Proxy from Force Unleashed. Like, couldn't they have used, like, maybe that's a droid under there that's, like, projecting the image? I don't know. I mean, it's cool.
I think that was something pulled from the comics. I'm not sure which one, but he basically had these like stand-ins that he could just like pop in and out of, and basically that was his direct line of communication across the galaxy. I don't know why he needed somebody to stand in for him, but right, I think that's what I understood. It was like he has his right hand and all that jazz, but these are an even further extension of that.
And then if you just keep letting it go through at 139, that looks like it's a Mon Cal MC-80 that's like attacking that dock. Because you can see the Star Destroyer there. You see like A-Wings flying towards it. And then when it shows the main girl like diving, you see like the Corvette looks like it's about to ram into him. I remember way old school, like back when in the original like Star Wars X-Wing game, there was a mission where you had to escort like a Corellian Corvette that was on a collision course with a Star Destroyer bridge. I don't know. That's just interesting. I wonder if that's kind of like the whole idea is they're gonna attack this dockyard by just sending corvettes into it.
It's an interesting battle tactic.
But going back to the actual, like, Theed stuff, how do you guys feel about seeing battle droids look better in game than they did in the movie?
Oh, I'll always appreciate it because they absolutely do. Like back at like 13 seconds when they're undocking or being unloaded. That looks better than the Battle of Naboo scene.
I'm curious to see how open world the map is. I know it's not going to be like, I'm not looking for like Star Wars Galaxy's open world, but like my biggest problem with the Walker Assault modes in the first, or in the last Battlefront I should say, is that it was way too linear.
Yeah, there were very specific like choke points.
And obviously the MTT is just going to go straight down the main road, so to speak, to the palace, but like I want to know how much on the sides of that main road is accessible, or are we really just going to be fighting down this main street the whole time?
Through the gameplay, it looks like there's enough like variation. Like you don't see that main alley throughout most, or like what you see through there. I think there should be enough spaces to avoid that. I'm sure they're not gonna bottleneck it as hard as they did in the first game.
On that note, let's go over to the other video. So yeah, we were talking about the voice acting and how some people are upset that it's the Clone Wars voices and not like Tamara Morrison from Episode 2 doing the voices.
I think it's awesome.
People are gonna
Like
nitpick
being such.
anything.
I mean,
Oh yeah.
it's either way you look at it, it's definitely better than if they got like new voice actors. At least it's, you know, from something.
Yeah.
Well, that's one of the things that I know a lot of people didn't really have an issue with it, but like the voice acting in the first game was always like just off enough to where listening to anybody talk was kind of weird. At least these are like recognizable, and being a fan of the Rebel show, hearing these voices are great.
Apparently, one of Rey's moves is a kick, because like she kills somebody with it, and like when you see like the points, it says Rey's kick.
They'll probably become a meme.
No,
Ray's kick.
as I use it, I'm going to scream like, "It's time to kick their butts." I'm just gonna make puns all day. Apparently, you're gonna be able to just place turrets. I guess that's one of the card things. I didn't really play the previous Battlefront all that much because I played the beta and hated it. So, if I say something that was in the first one and you're like confused as to why I'm surprised, that's why.
Well, you disliked it from the get-go?
Yeah, no. Well, I played the beta and it was okay, but then like I heard that the full game literally was just the beta. I was like, all right. Plus, like the coin system, like
Yeah.
how you got ships and became heroes, like it was just none of it made any sense.
Well,
Well, that's one
to
thing they
that
did
point,
get rid of. They
yeah.
got rid of the tokens. And yeah, if you look, I actually just the clip at 2 minutes and 42 seconds, you can see the number one ability is the turret. So I believe this is the officer class, because it's like
yeah,
the
it's more of
turret,
like a support.
there's like a defense
2
buff,
is like a defense buff, yeah.
and then 3 is some sort of proximity charge or something. On that note,
like a bomb or something.
where was I? It's like way early in the video. Go back to 15 seconds.
Wow, that is early.
The red security looking droid with the sniper rifle.
Yep.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, and I don't know if Hazy will be familiar, but that number one ability, is that not a trip mine from Jedi Outcast?
That's definitely a trip mine.
I played Jedi Outcast, but it was at least 15 years ago, so
I'm
not
pretty
gonna have-
sure. I'm like 99%
memory.
sure that's what that is. So that's cool. If you like,
And again, this might be something from the first one, well, the previous one, but like it looks like tanks have their own set of abilities when you get in them.
yeah, I know. I did watch a video where they said the AAT has one of its abilities is like lockdown. Once you hit it, like you can no longer move, and you switch to like the top turret.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like siege mode.
It literally said siege mode, and that's funny because that's like been a thing in StarCraft forever. And it's just funny because it's the exact same thing. Like the tank would stop and pull out like a bigger turret.
And the flying has been completely redone. There's no more like hold right mouse to lock on. You actually have to aim at your target to hit them with your lasers, which I think is amazing. It's going to make flying
so much better.
so much more skill based, and you'll be able to be in the
Yeah,
air
rather than
for much longer.
yeah, as long as you know what you're doing now, since it's skill based, you can't just go up and get lucky with token pickups.
And that's the thing. You're no longer
Yeah.
limited to having to find a token. You just have to earn the credits to like
Yeah,
jump
now,
in.
how do you like that credit system? Do you think it's a good fix for the random token pickup?
I enjoy it. I think it's good. I think it rewards
definitely-
skilled players, and it also could reward playing the objective more than just playing TDM.
Yeah, it's 100% better than what they had before, and I might say it's even better than the original system of just it being random.
Yeah, passing
Yeah.
like a threshold and then it just awarding it randomly.
What I've noticed is the health meter at the bottom is segmented. Okay, so each block appears to be 100 points. And actually, I'm at, if you go to 2 minutes and 30 seconds, it looks like this battle droid has armor. The yellow on the health bar.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. That's probably from either that first ability, which is either a shield or like an officer buff.
Yeah.
And if you notice, different characters seem to have like the segments in different places.
Well, it's just,
So maybe
they have more health. Like, the clone
Yeah.
troopers have more health than the battle droids, and if you go to a Darth Maul clip, like, at 2:15, Darth Maul's got, like, or 2:18, Darth Maul's got 700 health, so he's got 7 segments.
I wonder if that's kind of in there for like balancing purposes, because I think it'd be a little weird if both sides, or like if the battle droids were more susceptible to damage, that doesn't really constitute to better gameplay. It might be more realistic where they're pretty fragile.
I think what it is, I think all the base units have the same amount of health is what it's looking like. Because like when I saw more of them, I didn't realize I was looking at a jetpack trooper. So I think like the ones you have to pay to not pay like money, you know what I mean, like pay the points to use. I think those ones are going to have more health. Although I'm looking, this jetpack guy has 3 segments. I forget what they're called, but like the battle droid.
Yeah,
like
the
gray
super
one,
battle droid.
he has like at least 5 or 6.
Actually, go back to the beginning of the video. Go to the very start. The very first clone trooper, when he's like goes in the first person, 100 health.
Just one.
And then it cuts to other droid, and look, you see the officer using his abilities, bumping the health up. What if it's also gear-based? Because you can customize your classes. So what if you get to choose, like, heavy or medium armor?
Oh, no, wait, the sniper. I think it's the snipers have less health, because the droid you were talking about earlier that looked like he had, like, the sniping one, he only has 100.
Yeah, it might be a class.
Class-based.
So specialists might only have 100.
Dude,
while,
the tank
regular ones
has
have
1,000.
200. Shit. How much did Darth Maul have?
700.
700.
Damn.
He's basically a tank. Yeah, she's got 800.
But where's the starship health? Is that on the right, I guess?
Yeah, it's something that seems to be missing.
Just to the right of the
It
ship.
has segments.
Oh, yeah. That's a very
I'd rather them just left it at the bottom of the screen.
yeah, that seems very, what was that, Starfighter? Very Starfighter-esque.
I don't know, man. Let's talk about, like, you guys obviously played a lot of the original Battlefronts, like the OG Battlefronts, right?
Oh, yeah.
When you played those, what was your favorite era to play? Did you play, like, Clone Wars or GCW?
I usually did Civil War.
During the first game, I think I did more Civil War. The second one, I did more Clone Wars.
I was a big fan of playing as Wookiees, so that was always like my reasoning.
Well, it was a kind of like a new thing and stuff like that, and like watching this footage, like it's great seeing the Clone Wars stuff in there, but I actually wanted to see Force Awakens. I wanted to see like First Order gameplay. Battle droids and clone troopers are nice, but we have a new thing to look at. I wanted to see how that translates.
So I wonder if the First Order troops are going to be different than the like regular stormtroopers, or if it's just going to be like a visual difference, or if they're going to have like different special troopers.
they'll probably have different abilities, but we've already had confirmation that the weapons are going to be cross-era. So you can use First Order weapons as a droid and droid weapons as First Order and vice
That's pretty
versa.
cool.
So it seems like weapons and heroes are going to be cross-era, but nothing
But I'm talking about like, the battle droids and like the jetpack trooper right here. Like I wonder if the First Order and regular stormtroopers are going to have like the same type of special units.
I
Because
doubt
like
it.
they would be similar, but like I'm trying to think if there was anything.
Yeah,
Maybe
similar.
Like those, weren't they like Death Troopers from Rogue One, like the black ones? What were they called?
Yeah, which was also in the trailer we just saw.
Yeah, maybe they're going to be one of the special units.
It would be cool to see a Dark Trooper.
I've been waiting.
Dark Trooper hype? Probably not.
I mean, they were in the first Battlefront 2.
Yeah, seriously.
Those were the ones that had like the jetpacks and like the electric gun, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the arc
Yeah,
cannon.
those were awesome.
So
Show some Dark Forces love.
I mean, obviously the game looks great. I still, as much as I am like hyped for it watching this, I can't help but look at the map design of the Theed Palace and be very, very concerned that it's just going to turn into a grenade spamming clusterfuck.
Explosion, explosion, explosion. It could also just be this map, because if the trailer's to be believed, you have that Yoda versus Darth Maul segment that actually takes place like
In the reactor core.
yeah, completely separate from this area. So there could be multiple versions to different locales maps, or there may be just multiple separate maps for planets and stuff like that. To your point, yeah, there seems to be a lot of grenade chucking still, and with it being pushed to close quarters, who knows if it's going to be like that at first until people unlock like different or better gear.
Well, because in the last Battlefront, it was so nade spammy that they actually had to nerf the grenade launcher, the whatever weapon or ability that was that you fired like the 3 grenades. And
Yeah,
I've
the
already
barrage.
seen that same weapon is back in this. So like that shit concerns me.
They might have had this in the last one, but like I said, I barely played it. But I'm hoping we get the like the hero mode from Battlefront 2, where it was just kind of like a goofy mode where you could just play as all the heroes.
Yeah, they kind of had a pseudo version of that.
Yeah, it was
There wasn't
not
really
the
any
same.
good heroes in the first one, though.
Yeah, it was like a 3v3 heroes, and then the rest of the server was filled in with regular troopers, and you basically took turns as the heroes.
Now that was in Battlefront 2. You could do like literally every single person.
You can
playing
do
was
like
a hero.
7 Lukes versus 7 Darth Mauls.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope we get something crazy like that. With the cross-era stuff is kind of a good sign because it means they're willing to experiment and do like different stuff.
And it looks like lightsaber combat and stuff is like way more than just like mashing the button in this one, because like you see them doing all kinds of different like skills and stuff. And, I don't know, definitely looks way better.
Well, they also just don't feel like slow and clunky like the last ones did. Like obviously playing as Vader in the first one, like he's a slower guy, but as was made evident in Rogue One, he can still cut a room full of people up and do so with grace.
Yeah, I'm guessing he's gonna be like way tankier, because like all the other Jedis are like flying around and jumping around. So he's probably going to be like really slow, but have like a ton of health and do like more damage per like swing.
Yeah, like with them just showing Maul and Rey footage, like they're lighter, more agile, and it seems to be a quicker pace, like more fluid, I guess is what I'm trying to get at. Anything else stick out to you? Anything else you'd rather see than what was shown?
Galactic Conquest. I know it's not happening, but I want it so bad.
It's way too late. They would have announced it already.
Maybe that'll be like even if they do like have that, I feel like they're going to ruin it, make it like an online thing where like everybody join a faction and like, fight for different planets. I want it to be like a group of friends versus group of friends, not like a big online MMO thing.
I'm glad you brought up the group of friends versus group of friends thing, because there is one thing that I almost forgot to talk about, and that is how they're doing squads in this. Have you guys heard yet?
No.
I've seen a little bit about it, but I don't really know a lot.
So, to those of you watching, I may not be 100% correct on this, but for the way I understand it so far, is when you die, you go back to like your choose your role screen or whatever, where you can spend credits to be a specialist, or you just choose one of your base classes, and then when you choose that, you get taken to like a create a squad screen, or like a queue, almost like a spawn queue that has a maximum of 4 people. And what you can do is you can wait in that queue for more people to die and then choose their class to fill out your squad, or you can just hit a button to spawn immediately by yourself, or with however many people have filled the queue so far. So like, from what I understand, and again I could be wrong, there's no partying like in a match. Like if the 3 of us wanted to play, we could group up, queue together, get into a lobby together, but once we were in the lobby, there's nothing keeping us as a squad.
That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know yet though, because like when you have like friends list and stuff taken into account, you might be able to go in as a squad and then like ignore that other stuff, and maybe that's just what it does for people who don't have a squad, so they still get like the XP bonus and like the battle point bonus from working with the squad.
Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. I hope they have some way to keep parties together, because it's a freaking multiplayer game. People want to play with their friends. Like, that's the point.
The maps aren't like that, like so big where you can't be like, you know, hey, meet me at like point C. You know, it's not gonna. I don't think it's gonna be that big of an issue. I mean, obviously, it would be better if you could be like in a squad with your friends, because then playing with your friends would give you more points and stuff. But I don't see that as being a huge issue unless like they really screw it up somehow.
All right, then my last question is, what could they do to screw it up somehow?
I don't know. That is a good follow-up question.
Like you hate the first one, which I do too. The first Battlefront had such a lack of content.
Well, the previous Battlefront, should specify.
Yeah, I keep saying the first one, but you know what I meant, the last one.
Yeah. Just wanted to clarify before.
You despise it so much. Rightfully so. What could this one do wrong that would ruin the hype that you have now?
Well, the biggest thing that they've already fixed is the season pass having the second half of the game locked behind another, like, what was it, 50 or 60 bucks?
Yeah, something ridiculous.
40, 50.
You basically had to. It was basically $100 game, because like it had 3 maps to begin with, and that was it.
Well, it had more than 3 maps, but like, depending on what mode you were playing, if you're playing just Walker Assault, then it was like 3 maps.
Yeah, so I might be alone in it, but I did enjoy the first game like quite a bit. I was also the sucker to put up that extra. And after everything was said and done, like at the end of all the DLC, it felt like a complete game. And yeah, it's a lot of people can feel like jaded and gypped by it, which I mean I kind of did, but that didn't take away from me enjoying the game. One thing this game could do to really ruin it for me they might go the opposite route this time and throw a lot of content your way at first and then almost do nothing in the future expansion wise. And I know there's going to be like microtransactions and stuff in it, but if it's going to be like just like a skin grab or some stuff like that, where they're really like push hard on like dumb microtransactions to make up for the lack of like a season pass and all that might agitate me a little bit.
That is the one thing. That is the thing that I was fishing for, because we don't know yet what their model is. We know there's not going to be a season pass. We know the DLC is going to be, is it free DLC? Because
they are going to be handing out free content because
they don't want to segregate the player base.
They said during the conference, like shortly after the game's release, like a month later, Finn and Captain Phasma are going to be available in a free update.
So there is absolutely going to be microtransactions, but you nailed it. What those microtransactions contain? Is it going to be like, if it's going to be like Overwatch, where it's just new clone trooper armor or new voice lines or maybe special blaster colors, like who knows? That would be perfect, because there are people that would pay for that stuff. I'm probably guilty of that at some point.
Yeah.
But like, What
Yeah,
concerns
if
me,
done in moderation.
what concerns
Yeah.
me is the pre-order bonuses, which I believe we've talked about this in passing before. But if you read the pre-order bonuses for like the deluxe edition, it says in part of the stuff that you get for pre-ordering is like epic abilities for the different classes and the different heroes and the Millennium Falcon. So it's like, does that mean that you're also going to be getting abilities for and gear for their classes through these loot drops? I hope that doesn't like make the game pay to win, because that would be game breaking.
Mm-hmm.
It all comes down to how often you can get those loot drops without spending money. Like if it's like Overwatch and like you can get like 2 every time you sit down, so like it builds up pretty quick, then like I don't see it being that much of a problem unless like there's like unless they like have tiers to loot boxes. Like if you can buy like a super ultra legendary loot box for $10, then like yeah, that'll definitely be something that could ruin the game. But if it's just one type of loot box you can get, and like you know it has like a regular price, but like you can get like 2 or 3 every time you sit down to play, like I think it could work out pretty good like that.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a way that they could do it that would be fair.
But this
And-
is EA, just to remind you.
It is, but I mean, they've made so many right steps with this so far that I'm hesitant.
You're hoping they don't
Yeah,
just screw it all up.
Yeah, it's like,
It could be to sucker you into buying the game so that you have to get those microtransactions, so you have to like justify why you bought the game and that you're going to play it.
yeah. I mean, it's so far. This is how I look at it. So far, I see one step forward. Actually, I see like 4 steps forward.
Yeah, no, this
And
definitely looks like a significant leap.
I'm just hoping we don't go 4 steps forward and then 5 steps back. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm still excited for it. Like I said, I enjoyed the first one. This one looks even better. There doesn't seem to be any reason at the time to like really give the game any hate. So
Yeah, I was very prepared to hate this game like before they showed anything because of how much I was annoyed at the first one. But like after
last
watching the
one.
trailer, I was so hyped. Yeah, shit. See, why couldn't they call it like Battlefront 3 and 4? Like nobody would have blamed them.
Why didn't they just call it something different? Why did it have to be
Because they
Battlefront?
needed, because well, I mean, with this one especially, I would be like, this is definitely supposed to be Battlefront.
Yeah.
But like they needed that name recognition because nobody would have like backed it. I mean, they would have backed it because it's Star Wars, but like it wouldn't have gotten nearly as much hype.
It wouldn't have gotten nearly as much controversy either.
Yeah, I mean, if it was still equally as unfinished when it came out, I think it would have gotten a lot. But people wouldn't feel so betrayed because it wasn't the Battlefront name.
I just made up some shit. Star Wars Galaxy at War. Done. Like,
Wait,
is that a game already? Whatever.
That was the
Empire
fake
at War.
Battlefront. No, I think wasn't Galaxy at War that Battlefront game that was like unofficial on Steam that was gonna be free, but it got
I don't
shut
know.
down or something.
Star Wars blown shit up.
All right, no one. I mean, I would buy that, but that's not a marketable name. But I just googled this to clarify because I wanted to make sure I wasn't thinking of another game because I ingested a lot of E3 this weekend. But the way they're doing the DLC rollouts, they're calling them seasons because I guess since Overwatch made that popular, everybody's got to do seasons now. But like every new season, there's going to be like it's going to be like a new DLC pack, but it's going to be free. So like the first one that comes out is going to be Finn and Phasma and probably like a new map or 2.
We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I'm super excited.
Like I said, I still want to see. I want to see.
I'm like, yeah, I'm super excited.
Yeah,
I mean, we're recording this at 1:30 in the morning, and I work tomorrow, so.
it's been a long day.
Closing comments. What do you guys want to say?
I just want to see Force Awakens content. I want to see that stuff. I need it.
We already said this, but I want Galactic Conquest because that was literally all I did in the old one.
It's not an unreasonable request.
Yeah, but just like the local multiplayer-ness of it makes me think they're not going to do it because everything's got to be online now. And like, if they do it, it's going to be something like For Honor's Faction War, where like somebody picks like you when you first sign in,
you
your
join
empire,
a grand faction.
Yeah, and it's going to be like a Galactic Conquest with like 1 million people, and be like, oh, 1 million players attacked this planet, but 2 million defended it, so you don't lose it. That could be cool, but I don't want that. I want like to play against like my brother and be like, oh, I'm taking this planet from you, you piece of we go into a battle and I fight him, pick his take his planet.
I want the old conquest mode back with control points. Part of the reason I had to think about this for a bit. Part of the reason why I stopped playing the last Battlefront that came out is because it got very repetitive. You play Walker Assault, there was like what, 4 or 5 Walker Assault maps. Once you play those 4 or 5 maps a couple times, like it becomes the same thing over and over again. With the old school conquest mode, you could play the same map many, many more times and have a totally different experience based on which points your team captures or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, the maps are completely asymmetrical, so you can focus on one side of the map one game and a totally separate side of the map another game, and that will create different, like, front lines. Whereas with this, that we're seeing in this, with the MTT and, like, Walker Assault, it's very progressive, and the game's going to be very similar every time you play it.
It's just payload from Overwatch.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I should say
Payload.
Overwatch 2.
Payload.
But, like, I didn't even play the first one enough to realize that mode wasn't there. Like, I played the beta and I was just like, this is just Battlefield with a Star Wars skin. This is exactly what everyone said it wasn't.
I don't know. That's the one thing that if I had my choice of something they could add, and you already took Conquest mode, that would be, or Galactic Conquest, then just the traditional Conquest mode would be my thing.
Like, that's what Battlefront was. Like, I don't get why they even changed that. That's what it needs to be.
With that, I think that's a good place to wrap it up. So, yeah, I'm going to pre-order it.
Same.
That's all for now. Hopefully, you enjoyed this little conversation about Battlefront. Leave some love in the comments. Let us know what you think. If you have any questions, hopefully we can answer them. And, yeah, I look forward to making videos of this game when it comes out. Thank you guys for watching. Mobius 1, Koro, and Hazy. We'll see you guys later.
Diarrhea.
Later.